Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the news at 6. I'm Ben Gold.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We're on the weather watch tonight, starting out this week with some rain. It was really gloomy out there. This was the scene in Hartford this afternoon.
Yeah, making Monday really feel like a Monday here. Will the rain last through the night? When's it going to get out of here? Meteorologist Ryan Breton joining us now with the first check of the forecast. Hi, Ryan.
Ben and Sarah, at least we had a good weekend. The rain coming in on Monday. And right now we have tornado watches, severe thunderstorm watches to our west and south down through the mid-Atlantic. This, as we have a bunch of severe weather happening right now. Look at all the lightning from Pennsylvania now into parts of upstate New York. Severe weather going through the D.C. area at the moment. And actually, just to our west, there are 1, 2, 3 tornado warnings. So that goes to show the energy with this system. Right now, all of the rain that we have around here isn't severe. It's just plain old rain. But we do have some downpours coming through the Hartford area right now. A good one going right through the city, it looks like here. We'll zoom you in right around West Hartford. Yellows there indicating a quick downpour rolling on through. As we go through the evening, there will be a few showers and downpours out there, but we'll get a break for a bit. And then another chance for showers and storms coming in late tonight into tomorrow morning. And that's as some of the energy to the west will be moving in. And a couple of these storms tomorrow morning, especially from central and eastern Connecticut over into eastern Massachusetts, could be strong or severe. So we'll have to keep an eye out for the radar even early tomorrow morning. Kind of an unusual time of day to deal with severe weather, but there may be a couple of storms out there tomorrow morning. Lows tonight in the 60s and low 70s. Tomorrow we're back into the 80s. We'll have more on the timeline of those storms and a look at the rest of the week all coming up.
Thank you, Ryan. Well, new tonight, state officials are still monitoring and testing mosquitoes. And today, the East Shore Health Department announced mosquitoes in Branford and East Haven have tested positive for West Nile virus. The mosquitoes were collected last week on the Hosley Avenue area in Branford and the Kennett Street area of East Haven. It's important to note no human cases have been reported in Connecticut this year. We're following a weekend of violence in Hartford. Police say 3 men were killed in 2 separate targeted shootings early Sunday morning.
And now one homicide suspect is facing a judge. Fox 61's Samaya Hernandez was in the courtroom and has more on how city leaders are reacting.
Bail for Chan Williams Bay was raised to $5 million. He had previously posted $805,000 in bond on 8 separate pending cases. Authorities say he was supposed to be on supervision when some of the same detectives arrested him on Sunday.
Chan Williams Bay facing Judge David Gold Monday.
This defendant is seen on video. He's identified both in a photo array as well as by officers who are aware of who he is, as walking up to the victim here, shooting him as well as another party.
Detectives swift to arrest the 27-year-old on Sunday, hours after a so-called targeted midnight shooting on Wethersfield Avenue that killed 24-year-old Jordan Phillips and sent another man to the hospital. Williams Bay was arrested 2 years earlier in connection to a shooting that killed an innocent bystander and was free on bond.
In 2021, assault in the first degree with intent to cause serious injury, pistol without a permit, posted a $250,000 bond.
Has a child on the way.
Mayor Luke Bronin and Police Chief Jason Thody holding a rare Sunday press conference saying Williams Bay, who has 8 pending cases before the court, was supposed to be home under intensive pretrial supervision.
The backlog is too long.
Bronin urging judicial branch officials to prioritize a backlog in firearm cases.
I hope that by highlighting this case and this history, we can ensure that those individuals who are responsible for repeatedly committing acts of violence in our community face swift, serious consequences and are not left free to commit further violence.
Deadly gun violence also ravished Sterling Avenue early Sunday. 23-year-old William Tisdall and 27-year-old Hakeem Dixon both died in what authorities describe as an ambush-style targeted attack. Anti-violence advocate Reverend Henry Brown, in court Monday to support victims' families, wants to see City Hall speak out against all violent crimes.
If you want to talk about changing the perception of violence, you got to reach out to the people that have been affected by this violence.
The judge also raised the bond amount on all of Williams Bay's 8 pending cases. He is due back in court in 6 weeks. Authorities say that the 2 fatal shootings over the weekend are not connected. In Hartford, I'm Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Samaya, thank you. A death investigation is underway in New Haven after a body was found outside of a soup kitchen. The body was found this morning on State Street. Police have not identified that body or said how they died. We'll bring you more information as soon as we learn it.
Also in New Haven, a shooting is under investigation. Police say they responded to Henry Street early this morning where they found casings in the middle of the road and a small trail of blood on the sidewalk. Police later learned a gunshot wound victim had walked into a nearby hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No word on any suspects or arrests.
A man is dead after a crash in Seymour. It all happened around 7:30 last night on the corner of Great Hill and Country Club Road. Officials say that 28-year-old Michael Marone was driving his motorcycle when he drove off the road and hit a utility pole. He later died at the hospital from his injuries. The crash is still under investigation. An 11-year-old girl on the mend now after being hit by a car in Vernon. This happened on Prospect Street just after 5 p.m. Saturday. Police haven't shared much about what happened here, but a red car and an ice cream truck were spotted on the scene. We know that. Neighbors tell us that speeding is an issue on this street. We don't know if that had anything to do with this particular incident. Vernon police say the driver's cooperating.
A man accused of threatening staff at 2 Catholic churches is in court. Michael Pickering's accused of making those threats. Officers say when they tried to serve an arrest warrant, he refused to leave his home. That led to a standoff, which ended peacefully on Friday. Pickering's facing several charges. He's being held on a $250,000 bond.
New tonight, Connecticut Water Company and Operation Fuel have announced that they'll be continuing their partnership to help customers who need some financial assistance. And the program's expanding here. Free water conservation kits will now be offered to income-eligible customers. That helps them save nearly 15% on their water bills. The kits include easy-to-install devices that reduce water use at faucets, showers, and toilets. Well, new tonight, Connecticut's free school meals program is expanding this upcoming school year, making more than 190,000 additional students eligible for free breakfast and free lunch.
Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolfhorst is with us now in studio with more on the program. Emma.
Sarah, Ben, the state is investing $16 million federal dollars in American Rescue Plan Act funding into the free school meals program, something lawmakers, advocates, and students agree is necessary.
When free school meals stopped last year, I had friends who didn't eat because they didn't have food at home and didn't have the money to buy meals.
Connecticut's free school meals started with the onset of COVID-19, made possible with federal pandemic-era funding. But money ran out late last year, and schools had to go back to paid lunches for nearly 3 months.
I've seen it firsthand. I've seen a hungry child cry. When they're not listening to their bellies rumble, they can learn.
This new federal money will allow for more than 177,000 students participating in the federal school breakfast program to receive breakfast meals at no cost and make around 13,000 National School Lunch Program students eligible for free lunch.
There is no curriculum brilliant enough to compensate for a hungry stomach or a distracted mind.
The state estimates the expansion of free meals will save families with 3 children $378 over the entire school year.
40% of the families in our state are simply struggling to make ends meet.
It's not just the people that can't afford the food. Sometimes it's people that just don't have the time to put it together.
And while most celebrated this expansion Monday,
every kid deserves the right to start the day with a full belly. It makes them better students and healthier humans.
Some lawmakers and advocates feel this doesn't go far enough.
What are the things that we had federal ARPA money for that we are now going to assume with general fund money when federal money is gone? And this is one of them that I think we should.
And this program expansion comes after the state legislature failed to fund universal free school meals for all this year. Looney saying today he wants to address this again next year, adding, quote, "This is why we have annual sessions." Many lawmakers expressed support today for this, but some say increases in funding will need to be incremental. Ben, Sarah.
Well, new at 6 this new school year, security, weather preparedness, and mental health concerns all top the agenda when it comes to school safety.
Fox's Eben Brown tells us what school staff are doing to try and keep everyone safe.
3, 2, 1. Summer isn't over yet, but school is already underway in some areas, and others are gearing up to start in the coming days. And of course, that means an extra focus on safety, with districts across the country pulling out all the stops to protect students, faculty, and staff. At the top of the agenda is preventing violent attacks. There were 51 school shootings in 2022, the most in a single year, and this fall more than 52,000 armed guards will be deployed in schools, backed by some 15,000 law enforcement officers, a significant increase from last year.
We're all here to help, and we want to make sure that we're present. We'll have officers at schools around the area. We want everyone to feel safe.
Another big concern is keeping kids safe from natural disasters. Here in Florida, some schools are still recovering from the damage done by Hurricane Ian last fall, and the state has made millions of dollars available to help upgrade facilities.
Hurricane season is upon us, and while we hope and pray we do not experience any major storms this year, we need to remain vigilant and prepared.
But doctors are also warning that too much emphasis on safety could backfire and lead to stress and anxiety among students.
You got to be careful. You don't want to create anxiety and fear of your child, but you want to balance that with their safety and their security.
Last week, members of the Florida congressional delegation toured the building where the Parkland school shooting took place and called for more action on the federal level. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
As excitement grows with tomorrow's Mega Millions $1.5 billion jackpot here, the Connecticut Lottery is announcing $412 million in profits was returned to the state in the past year. This is now the third year in a row that Connecticut Lotteries profited more than $410 million. That money goes towards funding services including public health, libraries, public safety, education, and a whole lot more.
The city of New Britain is being designated a Purple Heart City by the National Purple Heart Trail Organization. The city is getting recognition for its commitment to supporting veterans who serve for our country. During a ceremony today, veterans with ties to New Britain who received a Purple Heart were recognized.
Still more